Play some hockey. Tonight. Energetic, passionate, and savvy. Gouche Live. Brought to you by the good people at the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Gouche.
It is Saturday night in downtown Toronto. Well, I'm actually up in Richmond Hill. Look at, I've got a little bit of spot going on there. I think I've been sweating all day. It's been so hot here. And of course, my producer is taking holidays. He's in Victoria. Jordan LaRoche is coming up in a second. I just want to say, don't forget, you have an opportunity to look and see us on Facebook, YouTube. We've got a new Facebook and YouTube site, Gouche Live Productions, where you can see all of our shows. I'm really excited. Well, obviously, you see behind me, yes, Seattle Kraken. Today at 5 o'clock, all the teams had to put in their list. We could not find the list yet, but we will be obviously overnight. We may see it. If not, tomorrow morning. And then Jordan's really going to help me out and we're going to figure this all out. But I'll tell you what, there's been a heck of amount of movement. And I've got my buddy who's watching every single site, every single news report, even on his vacation. He's out there working for us. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan LaRoche.
Hey, Gooch. I mean, today was an exciting day. A lot happened.
Well, I'll tell you what, first, you got on a plane yesterday to Victoria. Talk to us about that. How was it? Because, you know, I fly about 150 to 165,000 miles a year. I haven't been on a flight since March 11th, 2020. Wow. Was it exciting or were you nervous?
I was actually pretty nervous getting on. I mean, we got to the gate. It was really busy, and then the flight was fully booked. I mean, I kind of thought we'd maybe get a seat in the middle of us, but nope. It was jam-packed every row. I was a little nervous, but, you know, I double-masked it. I wasn't taking any chances, so.
It's just crazy times. But anyways, listen, what went on in the National Hockey League today prior to, of course, the expansion draft was really exciting. Rosey was going to make it today. He's not feeling well, so we send our good luck to him. Hopefully he feels better for tomorrow. But for the journey, of course, with Parts and Rosey, I see your dad has popped on all the way from Thailand. Hope everything's good there. Let's get into it. Listen, there's been lots to do. First, I wanted to say somebody that we know is going to be exposed, it's been announced, is Tarasenko from the St. Louis Blues. I think he was a little bit upset the fact that they didn't get a deal done. He has had 3 operations on that shoulder. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I like Tarasenko, and he's really upset that they couldn't get a deal done. Apparently, there were 4 teams interested in him. We don't know who they are exactly, but I mean, it's tough. I mean, when you want out of a situation and then the team is kind of not really kind of half-assing it, and then we saw it's a similar situation to a couple of guys have been like top scorers on a team and then just haven't been able to get out of there. And I believe it was I wrote a blog about someone the other day. I can't remember who it was, but exact same situation. A top player wants out of a team, and the team doesn't want to get the deal done. So,
well, of course, we know we look back at the Patrick Laine. He was one that made it very clear that he wanted something done, and look at what's gone on in that situation. They certainly could have used him in the playoffs. And I'll tell you what, Tarasenko, when he's healthy, is a very dynamic and very useful player. So we'll see how that plays it out. Obviously, will the Kraken take a stab at him with his injuries? Another one that surprised me a little bit, I think he's still got a lot of game in him, is Jonathan Quick. The Kings have exposed him.
Yeah, it's kind of just a last-minute thing. It came out right before it came on the show, but I mean, I think Seattle's going to have a good selection of goalies to choose from. You know, Martin Jones now is going to be unprotected. You know, Antti Ranta out of Arizona. I mean, there's some good goalies for these guys, for them to pick up.
And of course, you also heard the fact that they're looking, or the kick in the tires on Chris Streeter, which is, you know, we've talked about that. I actually said it before. I just threw it out there today. If you look on our post, they said, is he in the mix? And you kind of said, no, Gucci, he's not, because of I guess the UFAs or whatever like that. So we don't know all the rules. I got lucky. And Jordan, thank you for keeping me straight. Hey, you know what? It all happens July 21st. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Kraken will select one player from each team, except the Las Vegas Golden Knights for a total of 30 players, 14 forwards, 9 defensemen, 3 goalies. And this is the same setup that was obviously for the Vegas Golden Knights. There were some moves. Tampa Bay moved Barclay Goodrow. Talk to us about, I like this kid. He is a very solid hockey player.
Yeah, he's got size. He's a good skater. I love this pickup for the Rangers. I mean, Chris Drury's first kind of move as a GM of the Rangers, and I love it. I mean, we kind of get rid of Brett Howden. Yes, he's a young skater. He's logged some big minutes, but at the end of the day, he's a bit of a cardio guy for us. He's kind of just out there for a skate. So Barclay Goodrow is the move the Rangers needed to make. We have the top end talent, but we kind of lacked in the bottom 6. So getting Goudreau just really beefs up that bottom 6, and the Rangers look like an even better team going to next year.
And we saw that in this National Hockey League Stanley Cup Finals or throughout the playoffs. Your bottom 6 are very important. Yes, when you have your top 6 firing on all cylinders, you still need that third and fourth line to contribute. Hey, listen, of course, I know you like this one too. I really like it. I like Ryan Ellis. I think for a small defenseman, he's got it all. He's the full deal. He's going to Philadelphia, the Flyers, of course. 5 goals, 13 assists, 18 points for 35 games. Signed until 2027. Wow, at 6.25. Is that a bargain for the for the Flyers? And did they give up too much?
I don't think they gave up too much. I mean, it was Nolan Patrick. He ended up going to Vegas. It was a 3-team trade. But Ryan Ellis, I don't think he's not super young anymore. But the fact that he's locked up for at least 5 more years, you're going to get the rest of his prime and maybe a little more out of him. But Ryan Ellis is a good skater, and this Philadelphia team really needed another defenseman. Shane Gostisbehere's kind of had his day a little bit, but they just add another solid defenseman to that team. We got Ivan Provorov, Justin Braun. It's a good team, and I think Philadelphia is going to make a good run next year.
And the Preds get some youth, and they also, through that trade, of course, with Patrick then has moved on to, if I'm not mistaken, to Vegas. Did you go to Vegas?
Yeah.
And then Cody Glass came back the other way. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
let me say this. I like Nolan Patrick when he came in the league, but he has had some concussion issues. He has had a few injuries. He's never been that number 1 pick that people thought he would be. So could he re-energize himself in Vegas?
I mean, I think he had 10 points this year. I mean, kind of not a great showing on his part, but sometimes you see a different situation. I mean, he was skating on the second, third line, probably bouncing through the lineup this year. And, in Vegas, he's going to have a consistent third line role. And I think he's a big kid. He's physical, so that'll help him a lot. But for the Flyers, I mean, I think they did this move so they can protect James Van Riemsdyk. If they didn't trade Nolan Patrick, they probably would have protected him over JVR. And maybe Patrick might be better in the long run, but I think JVR, he's still a guy who can get 15 to 20 goals in a year.
Yeah. Listen, he's a very important part of that team. And that team does have a really good upside. Obviously, Hart was not playing like a Hart Trophy winner, but he certainly will have this opportunity, especially when their goalie coaches, as we were told by their coaching staff, when he learns how to stop the puck again. Hart, I think, is going to come back with a rock-solid year, and JVR is a huge compliment to that. And I think Ellis is going to help him tremendously.
One more thing on Philly. Jacob Voracek's going to be left unprotected when their lists come out. He asked for the trade a little while ago, and I think right now they're looking like he's going to be left unprotected.
Well, I'm glad. Well, we'll know. There's no question Seattle will grab that if they're available. Listen, Toronto Maple Leafs want to make a big splash. Big splash. I don't think you can say that, but a solid forward. Jared McCann, I liked him in the playoffs. I thought he was, at some of the games that I watched, he was one of the better players for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 14 goals, 18 assists, 32 points for 43 with 43 games played, $2.94 million for 1 year. It's not a bad deal, especially at his age and the talent. Your thoughts on that? Is it anything? It's not earth-shattering by any means.
No, it's not earth-shattering, but it's still a good move. I mean, Jared McCann's a London, Ontario native, so he probably was the Leafs fan growing up. And then to throw into that, he can play anywhere in the lineup. He's a speedy winger. He's got good skill, good hands, a good shot. He can play. You slot him in with Matthews, slot him in on the third line. He'll be productive anywhere.
Now, listen, just before we got on the show, you sent me a note. You just saw that there's some issues with the Toronto Maple Leafs and who they can protect and who they can't. People like Kerfoot, Mikheyev, Hull, Dermott, those are names that are being floated around. However, you've got some important news.
Yeah, so the way the draft works is, the protection lists work is teams can either protect 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goalie, or 8 total skaters and 1 goalie. But the way it looks right now, because you have to protect your guys with no trade clauses, and the Leafs have 4 defensemen with no move clauses, and Muzzin, Morgan Riley, TJ Brody, and Justin Hull. So that means that the Leafs automatically have to go to the 8 total skater lineup. And because half those spots are filled by defensemen, they can only protect 4 forwards. So they're going to protect Matthews, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, obviously. And the rest of the team is going to be left unprotected. The Leafs, they will lose someone big, and it's going to be bad.
Yes, and of course, we don't know what's going on with Hyman. There's a lot of talk right now, a lot of chatter. He's going to go out west, and I'll tell you, any team that picks up Hyman is getting somebody that I think is the heart and soul. I think I said that right at the beginning of this year. A lot of people kind of, laughed at me, but I do believe, yes, Marner is good. We can take Matthews out of the equation because of his offensive prowess. Even Johnny T. I just think this kid is so crucial to that Leafs lineup. By losing them, they're certainly going to have to do some big things. Listen, San Jose, when we were talking last week, who's going to go, who's going to move, you thought that Arizona was going to protect Aiden Hill. But Kemper, of course, they must be looking at it. Kemper coming off the World Hockey Championships, obviously with a gold medal. I don't think they're making it because of that, but certainly they're doing it because they believe that Kemper is going to come back and be the goalie that they need. Why would they put Aiden Hill? So the reason why they made the trade, obviously, is that they could, they would have lost him in obviously if they kept him unprotected. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, at San Jose, he's goaltending. We've seen the last few years that Martin Jones just isn't it. He's kind of struggled, especially in the playoffs. So, you get a new guy in there. Devin Dubnyk didn't work out last year either. That was just a tough situation. But Aiden Hill, I like this kid. He was actually Kemper's partner on that Team Canada World Championship team. So yeah. He's a good goalie. He's young, so he has a lot of upside there. And I think San Jose is getting probably their guy for the next few seasons at least.
Well, talk to me about who they picked up. Arizona, obviously, this young boy named Joseph Coronar.
Yeah, Joseph Coronar. Yeah, he split his time between the NHL, the AHL, and the Czech League. Young guy. I mean, I don't know too much about him, unfortunately, but Arizona's gets another goaltending prospect because the way it looks right now, they're going to protect Darcy Kemper, and Antti Raanta will also be left open. So it's kind of a guessing game who they'll take, or it probably won't even be a goalie.
Yeah, look at this. Your pops is popping in and saying, is there any chance Hyman gets Dustin Penner disease away from the big guns? He becomes wallpaper on another team. Listen, I'll tell you what, great comment, John, but I'll tell you, if he ends up with Edmonton or Winnipeg, I know they're not. I think Edmonton's on the list. I don't think I heard about Winnipeg. But if you put him in a lineup with Winnipeg, I'll tell you what, he will fit in really nicely there. And of course, with the Edmonton Oilers, I can't see him not being a great fit.
Yeah, not at all.
Nope. All right, listen, Ryan Graves to New Jersey. We already heard that. Mikhailov Maltsev, second round to Colorado, and a second round, sorry. I don't think that's anything that wasn't expected. New Jersey Devil is riding the Seattle wave as teams are trading players in fear of losing them in the draft. It seems this year that's what a lot of these moves have been about. I'm going to have to expose them, so let's get something for them, whatever that is. At least we got something for them, and I certainly think That was that particular move there.
Yeah,
I know we
and
talked about it.
just touch on that quickly. Darren Drager reported that so the last time there was expansion draft in 2017, every trade that Vegas did, they had an agreement in there that stated that the team that they were trading with could not make any more moves before the draft. So that means that's why we're seeing a lot more movement now that we didn't really see against when Vegas had their expansion draft.
Yeah, good point. And of course, that would paralyze the market, as we've seen. Not a lot of, there was chatter about Max Domi. Nothing happened there. There was chatter about, I heard a rumor. I don't know how competent it was, but there was some talk. The Edmonton Oilers were looking at kicking the tires on Jake Allen, which is not, that would certainly give the Edmonton Oilers the goaltender they need. And the name that popped up was Ethan Bear as a defenseman. So he may have become exposed solely for the fact, of course, we know Duncan Keith went there. He's not an Ethan Bear, but certainly he became, gives them a little bit more opportunity. The Tarasenko thing, I wanted to touch upon it again because I was reading some of your notes. Shattered. Tarasenko has been, injury prone. Obviously, the St. Louis Blues, he helped them win a Stanley Cup. Obviously, with his injuries, that affected things. Obviously, over the last couple of years, when we think about it, anytime you tinker with a lineup, which the St. Louis Blues had to after their Stanley Cup win, we saw what happened. It was not the same team. But he heard that there were apparently 4 teams, I think you mentioned, that maybe were interested, but they just didn't get a deal done. Now, Tarasenko is not going back to St. Louis Blues. So they're leaving him unprotected. What happens if he doesn't go to obviously the Seattle Kraken?
I think they still move him regardless. I mean, he's made it clear he doesn't want to be there. I mean, he used the term shattered when he talked about his relationship with the team. So it's in a fragile spot right now, but I think that they move him regardless if he gets taken or not.
All right, so let's also think about the Jeff Skinner, a player to be watched. There's no question I don't think he's going back to Buffalo. I think we've talked about this several times, but he's a guy that could be moved.
Yeah, he waived his no move clause for the draft, so you'll probably be left unprotected tomorrow as well. So, but the thing is with him, he when he was in Carolina, he had some really good years, 20 goals, 30 goals. But since he's been in Buffalo, you just don't know. He hasn't had a good year since then. So you don't know what you're going to get with him. That's the only thing.
No, 100%. But if you're picking him under that circumstances, I'll tell you what, it's not a bad risk. When you take somebody like him, he needs a new home. He's not happy in Buffalo. Listen, Buffalo, Seattle. I don't know if you've been to Seattle. I'm sure you have. Or Buffalo. You do the math really quickly and pops his button in. How long does the playoff period last? This playoff period is not for hockey, John. It's for our Ice Hockey Classic when we get over to Australia. So just watch. He's going to be growing that beard because he's going to be one of the goaltenders selected in our draft. Hey, listen, I know there's other things that have happened. The Andrew Ladd is really kind of confusing for me because I really don't understand it. Obviously, it opened up cap room when trading Ladd. They could be looking to make a big deal or sign a free agent. Not sure what this means.
Me neither.
Thanks, John. Talk to us about that teams are going to have to move to find space to maybe pick somebody. The Islanders, I know, are interested in trying to, solidify, bowing out in the playoffs against Tampa Bay. They know they need some extra parts. I think there's a lot of teams. Vegas knows that. Colorado's going to have to do something. Obviously, if they lose Landeskog, oh my God, we're in big trouble. John is telling us what 5 is. Oh, yeah. Ha, 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 ha. So there will be some thanks, John, for that. There will be some teams that are obviously making moves just to open up cap space so that they can go after somebody that we're not even thinking about. And obviously, once this expansion draft is over on the 21st, then I think free agency is coming close. I think there's going to be a lot of movement there. And some of these teams are probably already thinking that. Listen, let's let 1 or 2 of our guys go. They have to do that, and then let's see what comes up for them on the market. Islanders need to resign. Don't forget Beauvillier, Del Cole.
Beauvillier. Michael Del Cole, Anthony Beauvillier, Adam Pellick's in there. These are guys that were Yeah, these were guys that were huge for them in the playoffs. I mean,
Paul Mary, he
yep.
didn't, yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah,
he didn't
no,
look
no.
that didn't look that great during the regular season. In the playoffs, he showed he certainly can play. Sorokin is somebody that, what do you do there? And of course, the other one that's very interesting to me is Coburn. I think they're going to have a lot of money to dole out to keep that team intact. So that's maybe why they're moving some cap space. All right, let's talk about obviously what's going to go on over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, I would assume we looked everywhere, and thank you, Jordan, for working hard to try and find. But we're not on the inside.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Inside.
not yet. Not yet.
We're getting there. We're getting there next year. Stephen Ellis, should have given him a show tonight, but he's probably too busy go-karting. Talk to us about what you think is going to happen. Is there anybody out there that you think may be a big surprise? Right off the bat, Tarasenko's big to me. I've just been notified right now, Max Domi is exposed by the Blue Jackets for the expansion draft. If you're Seattle, how do you not grab that?
Yeah, I mean, it could be another William Karlsson situation. I mean, he has struggled in Columbus, and then when Vegas picks him up, I mean, William Karlsson had 40 goals his first year in Vegas. I mean, this could be another situation like that. I think Max Domi's probably even better than William Karlsson.
Yeah, at this particular moment, no question. Your father's piping in and saying Weber. There's a really good point. He's got a question mark behind it. We don't know. Sorry, but we don't know the extent of. I'm too quick. I shouldn't be pushing the buttons, but you're on vacation, so I'm trying to take away some of the pressure off you. Listen, I think that's going to be a very interesting. Montreal's going to make some moves. And the reason why they're going to make some moves is that I don't think Bergevin is completely satisfied of where they ended up. He thought they could go and win a Stanley Cup. He's still believing, and they're talking. Ducharme has said it. This team is not satisfied. Making the Stanley Cup final was great. They know how hard it's going to be to get back there. We all know that. So they're going to have to make some moves.
The only thing with Weber, though, I mean, he's probably going to miss all of next season, and it could even go to the season after that. So I don't think Seattle's going to take a chance on that, and he might even retire. There's talks about that. He's all set up in Kelowna to go there after when he retires. I mean, it's a tough situation. I think he stays.
Hopefully we can get him for the Ice Hockey Classic, July 2022 in Queenstown, and certainly it'd be great to have him represent Canada in Australia also. Your father's thrown out Deneau. I can't see Montreal exposing him. I sure hope not. I loved what he did in the playoffs. He's a good, gritty player. You're not going to find a shutdown player like him. They don't come a dime a dozen. And so I don't think he's going to be exposed myself.
Yeah, I think in that situation, yeah, like he'll fit into the top 7 forwards there, and he's their first line center. But realistically, I think Montreal needs to grab another center, so Deneau can move down to the second line role. But
yeah, and you know what? I think Weber will maybe be put on that unprotected. I think they probably all talked about it.
Yeah.
And Weber could decide, listen, you guys, let it known, if you pick me, I'm retiring, right? Well, you know that's happened before. But I think Seattle would not look at that. I think it'd be a smart move by Montreal to do that. The last thing the Seattle Kraken needs to have is somebody that is not going to be reliable, certainly not going to be there minimally for the start of the new season, and of course if it goes longer. So I'd be really concerned of that. Hey, the Stars signed their guy. I remember a guy named Brent Burns came with us to Australia. Phenomenal. Like, I've never met such a fun-loving, great guy. Then he goes out and has a Norris Trophy winning season, and he signs 8 years. I think it was $8 million for $64 million. The Dallas Stars has shored up
Miro Heiskanen. Yeah, he sorry, go.
Yeah, 8 years, $67 million. I think there's a $0.6 million. Good move.
Great move. I mean, I think he's their future. Him and John Klingberg are probably the top pairing D-men in the league. I mean, they don't get much better than him. And he's still young, too. This is his first deal out of his ELC. So.
Oh, yes. Hey, listen, we've got an extra special just as we get to wrap up, of course, so you can get back to, what time is it there? I think it's what time is it here?
It's 4:30.
So you're going out for dinner. Don't forget. You got to make
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. All right. Listen. Here's the deal. Our other producer, who's been on a hiatus for a couple of weeks because he's got a lot of work to do for us. He's doing all the new logos. He's doing the jerseys for the Ice Hockey Classic as we move forward. As you know, August 20th, we will have a Ice Hockey Classic live right here at Paramount Sports. We'll be live streaming it back over to Australia. So Val has got lots of work to do. So we gave him the week off. Once we get through all of this stuff, he'll be back on. You'll be back from, obviously, your vacay. And what's really important, guys, is you have already set up for us while you're on vacay. You've set up the Gouche Live production. We got a new website. Sorry, we're going to have a new Facebook, which is already up. We're going to start loading it up, guys. And of course, the YouTube channel. Why has the crew decided to do that?
It just kind of streamlines everything. So, like Gouche Live will continue to be on this Gouche Live page. But if you want to watch, say, the Rosen Report or the Journey with Bartz and Rosey, all those shows will be on Gouche Live Productions. Just kind of, it's more of a central hub for all our podcasts to be on. A Gouche Live will also be on there, but we will be keeping our own page as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just getting some information here. Got really lucky. Val heard us talking about him. So he said, hey, Gouche, you know where I am? And I said, of course, I don't know where you are. You're on vacation. He says, no. I am watching live, just as you did in Montreal. He's watching live a soccer game. The TFC is playing in Toronto tonight. So I'm just going back to him. How does it look? Oh, he's going to come on. He's live
Perfect.
at the BMO field, and he's going to come on, and he's going to give us a little bit of the atmosphere. You know that this is the first live sporting event in Toronto in well over 15 months. And of course, we've heard that the Toronto Blue Jays will be back at it. I think it's July the 30th. It's just been announced. They're going to allow 15,000 fans. But at BMO Field tonight, we are told there are 7,000 fans, and our producer is one of them in the crowd with his son. So we're just waiting for him to pop up. So before he gets up here, let's talk about the wrap up of the National Hockey League, and of course the players that we think will be exposed. Obviously, we know that Jonathan Quick will be available. Tarasenko, which I really like. I know that he's got injury, but I think you got to take a runner at him. If he's available and he can stay healthy, I'll tell you what, he's a dynamic player. The Landeskog is really interesting to me. I know he's not he won't be leaved. Would they leave him exposed? I wouldn't.
No, I don't think he would be.
Because they want to try and get something back for him.
Yeah, they still protect him 100%.
Yeah. Okay, listen, this is cool. Anything else you want to say about that hockey?
No, I think we touched just about everything. It was a busy day, right. But
we will get the list tomorrow. You and I'll decide where we'll come on and do our actual mock draft. We'll let you know tomorrow, guys, on a Facebook Live announcement. But ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the BMO Field in Toronto, we've got our executive producer, Val Silva. Hey, Val Silva. Don't forget Val Silva from the Footy Express. He's there to talk soccer. And, of course, Nicholas Fiore. Is he in the crowd, guys, too?
Listen, I don't know if you guys can hear me. They're about to do the player intros. This place is rocking wild. I'll flip it around, but it's great to be back.
Wow.
Look at that.
Those are great seats.
How jealous are you?
Sorry?
How jealous are you, Jordan?
I'm not a big soccer guy, but still, those are great seats. I mean, any sporting event, you could sit there. I mean, it'll be a good time. Enjoy, Val.
Well, I'm jealous. You got to see the Montreal Canadiens live, and now Val is going. He's with his son, Christian, who I call Ronaldo. Talk to us a little bit show us a little bit, and then we'll let you go.
Sorry? What was the last thing, bud?
You just said that they're announcing the players?
Yeah, they're doing the player intros right now. But you know what, though? Like Jordan said, he had his experience in Montreal, which is 10 times wilder. This one's crazy. It's just like Jordan's experience and mine. It's just nice to be home, as we call this place BMO Field our home, whoever's a fan. But it's pretty walking. It's been 16 months for anything whatsoever, right? Even for the NHL to allow their fans back into their stadiums and everything. But it's just nice to be around all these frontline workers who deserve to be here. I was one of the lucky few of season ticket holders to get my name drawn, and my son and I we've actually got one of the best views in the house. We're down in midfield and center pitch, so here it is.
Jeez.
Like we're by the tunnel where the players walk out, so they're about to announce them and everything. So.
All right. Well, you enjoy. I let everybody know that you've been off for a couple of weeks. You've been working really hard to get all our stuff ready for the Ice Hockey Classic, the great jerseys that you did for the Indigenous with the Garnet Boomerangs. We can't thank you enough, Val, for all that you're doing for us. Enjoy.
I will, guys.
Fireworks.
Yeah, Ice Hockey Classic's going to be a blast, just like these fireworks. I can't wait to show all the stuff we're putting together, man. Have a good night, guys. I am going to party.
Okay, buddy. See you later. Have it.
See you, Val. Enjoy it.
TFC. Oh, boy. You know what? That's a soccer game as we ended. I've been to a couple in Europe. Thank God those aren't gunshots, for God's sakes. Those soccer people are crazy. That was great to have Val. All right, Jordan. Have a great night tonight. Enjoy Victoria. Really thank you lots for coming on and being a part of this. We will tomorrow announce when you and I do our mock draft. I think I'm going to outperform you. I think I got a feeling. What?
I don't know about that.
Savvy veteran. I'll be talking with your dad. He'll help me out. All right, Jordan. Thank you. Enjoy. Give my love to the family.
Thanks, Gooch.
How great's that? We got Val Silva at the TFC game in the BMO Field. I got my buddy and producer Jordan in Victoria, and we're telling you about ice hockey. And I'll tell you what I said, ice hockey. It has been absolutely amazing. It's been one of those days where there's been so much information. Jordan and I were ready to give you the mock draft. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to give you our picks. Jordan did everything to try and find it. We couldn't, but yet, look at all the deals that we announced with, obviously, that's going on in the National Hockey League. Stick with us, Gouche Live. Don't forget, Gouche Live Production. Check out the website. Check out the YouTube page. Check out Facebook. And, of course, don't forget, we talk, we Twitter, we tweet. We do that Facebook thing. We Instagram-y. We're doing it all right here. Thank you for being a part of it. I want to thank the Hockey News and, of course, Sports Illustrated for allowing us to be on their platform. Good night.
You've been listening to Gouche Live with your host, Kerry Goulet, better known as The Gooch, brought to you by the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated.